Hello there everyone, it's Alex from RPG Site here. Now, we've looked at XCOM a couple of times, which, let's get it out of the way at the top, we know it isn't really an RPG, but we've said multiple times before in the past that we really like the mechanics of this game. The way the combat works feels a little like a classic tactical RPG in the vein of a Disgaea or a Final Fantasy Tactics or what have you, and the way you are building up your soldiers and researching new technology and stuff, it doesn't have that typical RPG experience grind thing going on, but we think it does feel right for RPG fans. We think the way you sort of become attached to your soldiers as you build them up over time is something that'll appeal to RPG fans, and because we're a site that is designed to be read by RPG fans and make videos that are for RPG fans, we think XCOM's always worth a look. So in the past we've looked at, just this past year, we've looked at XCOM 2 on PC, XCOM Enemy Unknown, which is the reboot, on the PlayStation Vita, and now we are looking at XCOM 2 on console. So this is the same game we reviewed in an earlier video, but it's a console version. So this is really a quick video. We just wanted to check in and let you guys know, for those of you who don't have access to PC, exactly what you're in for. So what you're in for it's XCOM 2. Like, it's a pretty good version of XCOM 2 as well. It doesn't feel too hamstrung by the consoles. The controls, as with the Vita version of XCOM Enemy Unknown, and Enemy Unknown also had a console version on PS3 and 360 at the time, the controls are good. They figured out a way to make it work, and because this is a turn-based game, you know, you don't have to have Twitch-based controls, so you don't lose things that you might lose in other strategy games. That isn't to say that it's perfect. You know, it's a little bit fiddly, it takes some getting used to, but some people I've spoken to actually prefer these controls, so that's something to keep in mind. I mean, it's a matter of personal preference ultimately in the end, but the point is, these controls are good enough that some people prefer them, to the point that some PC users are upset that these controls haven't been patched back into the PC version. You can still currently only use a keyboard and mouse there, and for what it's worth, if anybody from Firaxis or 2K is watching, do it. Put those controls in the PC, it's worth it. So yeah, the controls are fine. Visually, it doesn't look as good as it looked on PC, and I think you can go and see that for yourself if you go and look at the video review we did of the PC version, but it still looks pretty good. The only real downside, the only real negative against the game are the load times. They are pretty long. So, for instance, I'll tell you what, why don't I just show you? So I'm going to shut up now and just click go on this mission in this video that I'm running in the background, and we'll let it load, and I'll talk to you again once it's loaded, so you can see how long it is.
Communications with resistance forces in the area have gone dark, which can only mean one thing. These people sacrificed everything to give us this shot. We need to recover that converter at all costs.
So you can see that was well over a minute. This was the load into the very first mission in the game that you have actual full control over. The mission you were seeing earlier was a tutorial mission, and I have played further, and these load times are pretty representative of what you will get in the complete game. Obviously, a big fault here is that XCOM, of course, has permanent death, and some people like to save scum. On the console version of this game, that I can't imagine how horrible trying to save scum would be, which might be a good thing. It might discourage people from doing it, but yeah, because you would have to sit through that every single time you wanted to save scum, more or less. I think it's a little bit faster when you're loading a level that you're already in, but yeah, crikey. It's not quite as long going back to your base after a mission, but it's still also, again, pretty long. Now, it's worth saying this isn't something that's strictly about the consoles. I mean, XCOM 2 had some pretty long loads on PC as well, so you know, it's just one of those things. But it's a great game, and I can't say that the load times are enough to have a significant impact on my enjoyment of it, because I still think it's a fantastic experience. And if you just simply don't have a PC that's capable of running a game like this, then this console version is absolutely fine for that purpose. It's fit for purpose, it will do the job, and I do think this is one of the best games of 2016, and a game that you really, really should play. So yeah, so a high recommendation from me. If you want to know more on why the high recommendation, do head to the original XCOM video review or the text-based review on rpgsite.net, where we gave it a 9 out of 10, and you can learn more about not only why we love it so much, but also why we think, even though it isn't strictly speaking an RPG, RPG fans should get involved and try out XCOM, because I think many of them will find that it will grab them in the same way as many RPGs do, and for many of the same reasons. So yeah, that's XCOM 2 on console. You know, load time's not ideal, but I think the rest of it, you know, you can see how it looks and everything here. I think it looks fine. I think the controls work fine. You know, it's a solid, competent port. And that's a good thing to know, especially considering in the run-up to launch, 2K was so quiet about XCOM on console that I was beginning to worry that it might end up being a really bad port, or there might be something wrong with it. Not the case. It's fine. It works well. It looks good. It's just a shame about those load times. But yeah, so that is XCOM 2 on console. Be sure to head to the site if you want to know more about XCOM 2, or just browse the channel. And be sure to obviously like and subscribe if you enjoy this and other content about role-playing games in general. And, indeed, much like XCOM, games that we think role-playing game fans will love. So yeah, that's it from me for now. Until next time, see ya.